should be played at high volume, preferably in a residential area. This should be played. This should be played at high volume, preferably in a residential area.
Due to some violent content, parental discretion is advised.
Shalom, salama, siyemi, and shalom to you always, family abroad. It's your man Yashar Ross, aka RedLetter Rap. And don't worry, Riaz is not that far away. She's just very, very tired. She's had a long week of putting together a very, very great study. And so she's in the bedroom right now watching from the cell phone. So just definitely keep her in your prayers and whatnot. She's just tired, you know what I'm saying? Put in a lot of work for that study. So with that being said, if you go to Hebrew Descendant Live, you'll be able to see that teaching from leadership class this morning. And once again, I just aligned some things here or there, make sure the font was right, and then use the clicker at the sanctuary, and just a little bit of commentary here or there, like just for little highlights. Nothing major. That's all I did. Other than that, the full study, everything was all what the Most High had given to Yaz. And so definitely check that out when you get an opportunity. And with that being said, family, I want to go ahead and say, all right, that's sis. There you go. Was looking for y'all today, like every day. You know what I'm saying? Like, definitely. Yeah, that's the sis right there. She be bringing her grandson on in, and that's my great nephew Ishan. Shalom to you always, family abroad. Always good to have y'all in the building. And with that being said, let's go ahead and pray right on in, right? Because we're going to finish off ZakarYahu or Zechariah for others, and then not today, of course. We're gonna do Malachi next week, most High willing. So after that, we'll have all the prophets. We'll have the Torah and the prophets concluded, and then we'll get into the patriarchs. That's I think that's where the Most High has got us going to next. Going all the way from Reuben down to Benjamin or Joseph, and so that's gonna be really, really good. I can't wait to do that. But if you can, you will, family, help me pray on in, right? Abu Yahu, Mosai Yah Yasharal, Mosai Yah of Abaraham, of Yatsak and Yaquab, the one true Alua of all creation, creator of all the heavens, the earth, and everything within. Yahuwah to Saba. Abu Yahuwah, we continually come humbly before your throne to give you all praise, honor, and glory. For you are the only one worthy of such praise, Abu Yahuwah. We continually praise you and thank you for being our Elua, our creator, our king, our shepherd, our savior, our redeemer, our comforter, teacher, counselor, our friend, our father. Abu Yahuwah, we thank you and praise you for your mighty, righteous, and holy works. We praise you, Abu Yahuwah, for your grace, your mercy, and your favor upon our lives, Abu Yahuwah. And we continually ask forgiveness of our sins and iniquities, those things known and unknown unto us, Abu Yahuwah. We continually declare that, Abu, we've done all things wickedly before thy sight. We confess, and we know that you've seen these things, Abu Yahuwah, for nothing is hid from your sight. And we confess the sins and iniquities of our ancestors, forefathers, and even those of our children, Abu Yahuwah, and even the sins and iniquities of our tribes, our nation, Abu Yahuwah. We declare all these things, but most importantly, we declare repentance, Abu Yahuwah. We repent, Abu Yahuwah, and we want to turn away from all sin and iniquity. And we need you, Abba Yahuwah, to continue to direct our paths, guide us, Abba Yahuwah, in all the ways that which you would direct us to. Direct us back into your word, Abba Yahuwah. Guide us and direct us back to your instruction, Abba Yahuwah. That way we would have a testimony everywhere that we go. Abba Yahuwah, we continually ask for your Holy Spirit, your Ruach HaKodesh, to be in this household and every household watching. We continually ask, Abba Yahuwah, that you would give us understanding of what it is that we're going to read. That way we're not being force-fed by anything, but we have a clear understanding of your word coming from the mouths of your prophets, Abba Yahuwah. If there's anything which I do not know or you're not telling me, Abba Yahuwah, give me the person or the people that I should refer these folks to. That way that they can continue to learn, Abba Yahuwah, continue to seek you in your mighty, righteous, and holy name. Abba Yahuwah, I want to always thank you for making sure that I send people directly to you, regardless of what it is I say, Abba Yahuwah. For you are the first, middle, and last authority on everything, the beginning and the end of all authority on Scripture, Abba Yahuwah. And we continually praise you, Abba. In your mighty, righteous, and holy name we pray, by way of your Son, Yahushua HaMashiach, known to me as the Bar Yeshaya Yahuwah, the word of salvation from Yahuwah. So be it, and it is so. All right, family. So without any further ado, yes, all praises. Kahuria Da Yahuwah Tasaba. All right, let me go ahead and I want to pull up the disclaimer right quick. Yeah. Oh. All right, so yeah, y'all can't see that just yet. All right, so yeah, now being that we're starting to get some folks pop in every now and again, and one that came to us about, did we have a disclaimer, right? So I want to make sure this pops up, and I'm going to go ahead and pull this up on the screen for y'all, right? So the copyright disclaimer under section 107. I'm not even seeing it come up on the screen. Oh, I want to make sure this is even working. Screen share. Okay. Here we go. All right, family. So, copyright disclaimer under section 107 of the Copyright Act. I'm still not seeing it pop up on my phone. What in the world is going on here? I'm really trying here, family. I have no idea why this is not wanting to share properly. So I'm just going to leave it like this for a moment, right? So under section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit education or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. And this content falls under fair use guidelines. And you can find those guidelines at www.copyright.gov/FLS/FL102.html. And so, with that being said, family, let's go ahead and get it right on in with the scriptures. So, now I can only hope and pray this thing is going to act right and pull the scriptures on up. There we go. At least it did that part right. Now let's go ahead and get this little picture thing up out the way, right? So we last left off in chapter 7. So we're going to start up in chapter 8 right here. But just for a little quick recap, we had seen a couple of things that were very interesting. One of the most important things that we saw was that ZakarYahu had spoken with these two angels, and they were showing him or telling him that they were measuring New Jerusalem, or measuring the width and the breadth of Jerusalem for the return. And it's going to be for a later date when everybody's going to return and come back to Jerusalem from the four corners of the earth. Not just from the Babylon in which we saw in the very beginning during the rule of King Darius, but there's going to be a remnant or a mass of people that's going to come back at a later date and time. And then we also got a chance to see some prophecy that I didn't quite fully understand, and I wasn't given revelation on it. So I had to refer folks to Tayu Ministries, you know what I'm saying? Because I believe that they have been studying those scripts a lot longer than me. And so they got a chance to actually study some deeper history as well. And, you know, what's very important about studying prophecy is you got to see some of the things in the past to be able to see where the scripture is talking about things that's going to happen in the future. And so since I didn't have all the answers, I'm just going to be humble and be like, yo, I think it's best to check those brothers out that can hook you up with that information if that's what's really concerning to you. But we got a chance to see a lot of good things, you know, a lot of good information that we had highlighted. And I'm just going to go right from here, I believe chapter 6, right here. Behold, the man whose name is the branch, and he shall spring up from his stem and build the house of Yahuwah. And we got a chance to see that this is talking about Hamashiach, flat out, right? And he shall receive power, and he shall sit and rule upon his throne, and there shall be a priest on his right hand, and on a peaceable counsel shall be between them both. And the crown shall be to them that wait patiently, and to the useful men of the captivity, and to them that have known it, and for the favor of the son of Sophonias, and for the psalm of the house of Yahuwah. Excuse me. And they that are far from them shall come and build in the house of Yahuwah, and they shall know that Yahuwah Almighty has sent me to you. And this shall come to pass if you will diligently hearken to the voice of Yahuwah, your Allure. So these prophecies right here are reading not so direct. And I think that's one of the things that I appreciate about these prophecies from Zechariah or ZakarYahu, because they're not straight, direct this or that. And so just like Proverbs 25:2 says, you know, for it's the glory of the Most High to conceal a thing, but the honor of kings to search out a matter. So if it was meant to be just blatantly understood, it would be easy for our oppressors to manipulate the scriptures to falsify prophecy, to falsify when these things will come to pass, right? So we have to start actually having a higher appreciation for some of the more encrypted or cryptic writings of prophecy. Because once again, if it was that easy to figure out and understand, these scriptures being in the hands of our captors or our oppressors for so many centuries would be easy for them to read, understand, and falsify when the prophecies will come to pass. So we see here, you know, that I'm in my opinion, that I'm going to say that I can clearly see that it's talking about Hamashiach, and it's also talking about his 12 disciples. and the journey in which they will go on as well, going from place to place throughout not just Judea, but even after the crucifixion or the putting Christ on the stake on the tree. That they would venture out into other colonized areas of our captivity throughout the Roman Empire, and they will go to the places where we will be located at in those ghettos and be able to build the church, meaning build the congregation, right? Now, it's not talking about a building, it's talking about building the congregation of believers, restoring sight to the blind, right? Being able to get our brothers and sisters to wake up to the truth. And you kind of see some of these things taking place in First John, as a matter of fact. And you start seeing some of these things where John is talking about coming into the truth, right? And then talking about how, darkness is falling away because we're coming into the knowledge of the actual truth of things. So I think it's very interesting to see those scriptures in the New Testament. And I think for so many centuries, those scriptures haven't really been used, at least in proper context. Let's go ahead and keep it moving, all right? So chapter 7, and it came to pass in the 4th year of Darius, the king, that the word of Yahuwah came to ZakarYahu, or Zacharias, in the 4th day of the 9th month, which is Chaslu. And Sarasar and Arbasar, the king, and his men sent to Bethel, and that to propitiate, or mean to continue on, Yahuwah, speaking to the priests that were in the house of Yahuwah Almighty, and to the prophets, saying, the holy offering has come in hither in the 5th month, as it is done already many years. And the word of Yahuwah of hosts, Yahuwah Saba came to me, saying, speak to the whole people of the land, and to the priests, saying, though ye fasted or lamented in the 5th or 7th month, behold, these 70 years have ye at all fasted to me. This is very important, especially in this captivity that we're going through right now, because a lot of the teaching that we're getting, and I'm not above it, right? I'm just going to go and keep it a whole briefcase with you. Like, we've been taught, okay, these are the proper names of the feast days, and this is the days in which we're supposed to, the Day of Atonement and things of this nature, day of, the week of Sukkot, or Pesach, or Shavuot, or for some Shavuot, that used to be Pentecost, things like that, but these fasts here, the 5th or the 7th month. In the 7th month, this is going to be the Day of Atonement. In the 5th month, I'm not as versed with this one. But the question still remains that the Most High asks. Yeah, you fasting over here in the 5th month and in the 7th month, but have ye at all fasted to me? You know what I'm saying? Like, you may be fasting because you were told to do so. But randomly, do you fast and meditate and pray and seek me during your fast? Or are you really trying to seek me during these fasts? To seek what it is that I should do for you, or I could do for you, or that I will do for you because of the fast that you're doing in righteousness. You know what I'm saying? Are you seeking me for these things, or during this time? Or are you just fasting to fast because it's like a habit, because someone else told you to do so? And that's a very interesting question. You know what I'm saying? Especially, like I said, even in this day and time, because, like I said, I've been guilty of it as well. fasting for that day, just trying to make it through the day without eating and preoccupy my time, read, yeah, but I wasn't at first I wasn't praying throughout the day for under the right reasons, or asking him to purge me of sin, purge me of iniquity. And it wasn't until like I started actually getting the downloads about the Genesis 1 and 29 and 1 and 30 study to where I really started understanding what these fasts were even for in the first place. I mean, yes, the Most High wants you to fast to afflict your soul, but nobody really has been teaching why we have these fasts during so many different times of the year. All right, so case in point, we just got done recently having Feast of Unleavened Bread, and we had went through the scriptures showing how the real sacrifice that is supposed to be brought before the Most High is unleavened bread. It's fine flour mingled with oil, with frankincense and myrrh. Or during the Feast of Unleavened Bread, it's bitter herbs. You know what I'm saying? And what that should be taken with the unleavened bread. We were never explained to us, what's the use of the bitter herbs. And it's not until you start looking into what bitter herbs are good for, like chasing out parasites, that you start realizing, okay, we're supposed to cleanse, get the yeast, get the even the spiritual yeast out of our body and the literal yeast out of our body with this unleavened bread, and also with the bitter herbs. So when you start seeing that, and then you start seeing these fasts here, but then you also see where Hamashiach told his disciples, I want to say in John, it's either in John or Matthew, where they tried to exorcise a wicked spirit out of a man, and it wouldn't work. And Hamashiach told them that some spirits can only be cast out through prayer and fasting. Now, I repeat, he said some spirits can only be cast out through prayer and fasting. Not all spirits can be just up and cast out by laying hands on somebody, because these spirits that are inside of these people, these are parasites. And so when you start digging around through the scripts and you start seeing, when you finally come across the Clementine homilies and things like that, and you start seeing how Peter is giving up the game on how Hamashiach was talking about how the giants, how their existence changed from being giants to being evil spirits, and how they use people as puppetry, and how they live, the word is vicariously, meaning, you're kind of like on a string. You're the puppet and they're holding the strings. They need a host. They need a body to use to live life, because they're now so-called disembodied spirits. And so they get into your body to use you so they can drink alcohol. They use you to do drugs, or they use you to perform certain lewd acts and things like that. They use you to eat by way of latching on to your intestinal tract and then accessing your central nervous system and start causing your cravings. So they cause you to crave and want things that you either normally wouldn't have, or you start overindulging on things that you started to find delicious or tasty and sweet, like cupcakes and Snickers and Ho-Hos. And as my older brother calls, he said, when you going through the store and you start seeing the little Debbie's in the hostess aisle, then he calls them little hookers. You know what I'm saying? That little Debbie's, that's that little hooker right there. You know what I'm saying? And she be screaming from the shelf, you know what I'm saying? Eat this sweet stuff. And so all that's leaven to your body. And you don't see it for what it is when you're going through it. And I surely didn't see it for what it was as I was going through it. And it's not until, like I said, the Most High started giving me these downloads about the Genesis 1 and 29 and 1 and 30 and started leading me down that path to where I started actually seeing these things, and I bothered so many people by bringing that stuff to light because they ain't won't hear it. But like I said, I'm going to love you anyway. I'm going to pray for you and I'm going to love you anyway, and nothing you can do about it. Anyway, let's get back to the scripts. The Most High asks, during this time, are you fasting? Have ye all fasted to me? Verse 6, and if ye eat or drink, do ye not eat and drink for yourselves? You know what I'm saying? Are not these the words which Yahuwah spoke by the former prophets when Jerusalem was inhabited and in prosperity, and in her cities round about her, in the hill country and the low country was inhabited? Wasn't the Most High saying the same thing through the prophets then? So all the stuff that you're doing throughout your life, you're doing it for you. But you're not doing it to bring yourself closer to the Most High. And this is what Abba is saying. He's wanted to change these habits. So let's get down here. Verse 8. And the word of Yahuwah came to ZakarYahu, or Zechariah, as it says right here, saying, thus saith Yahuwah Almighty, judge righteous judgment, and deal mercifully and compassionately every one with his brother. Let's pause right there before we get to verse 10. So keep this in mind next time, somebody want to quote to you, oh, judge not, lest ye be judged. No, judge righteously. Right? So the same can still be said if you have the same issue. You ain't got no business trying to judge anybody or give advice over that issue when you still going through it. That's hypocritical, right? But judge righteously. So case in point, if I used to have an affliction with something and I no longer have the affliction, I've gotten through it and I know how to fight through that battle, I can now give you advice on it. And I can also judge that act righteously by saying, look, if you don't try to get a handle on this situation, XYZ is a possibility for you. That's the judgment, is the XYZ. Now, and I'm also judging righteously. I'm not over here saying, well, this is exactly what's going to happen to you, and I'm start talking 24 karat crazy to you. That's not judging righteously. Any judgment I give you, I want to give you that judgment with hopes that you're going to change the habit. But if I start harping on you in such a manner in which you're not going to really receive the advice, you're going to turn from the advice. Like, what's this nigga talking about, man? You don't know what you're talking about. Who you talking to like you ain't got no sense? You feel me? But if I give it to you in a manner in which you should receive, like, yo, this is the possibility right here. And this is a real possibility. And I just want to see what's best for you. Right? I've been through this. And this is how I had to change my habits. This is how I had to change my ways. You feel me? So that's the righteous judgment. Now, there is also, when you go through Sirach, you also got to know your audience. So you got to also know that the way in which you talk to that person is the way in which they will receive information from you. Some people love that nice, nasty. Some people love that harsh, cruel, speech to them because that's what really puts a fire into them. But that don't work for everybody. So you got to know your audience. And that's the number one or number two, thing that you piece of advice or wisdom you get from Sirach chapter 20. And it's, knowing how to say what needs to be said to that person needs to hear it. It's your delivery. It's going to come off that way. All right. So anyway, judge righteous judgment, and deal mercifully and compassionately everyone with his brother. Verse 10, and oppress not the widow or the fatherless or the stranger or the poor, and let not one of you remember in his heart the injury of his brother. Now, this is something we should have used this right here earlier on today. I'm not saying that we absolutely needed it, but it would have been a really good compliment and as to how to treat your neighbor and how to apply the law in a manner of love, that the heart and the mind are connected. You know what I'm saying? So verse 11, but they refused to attend and madly turned their back and made their ears heavy so that they should not hear. And they made their heart disobedient so as not to hearken to my law and the words which Yahuwah Almighty sent forth by his Ruach, by the former prophets. So there was great wrath from Yahuwah Almighty. And it shall come to pass that as he spoke and they hearken not, so they shall cry, and I will not hearken, saith Yahuwah Almighty. And I will cast them out among all the nations, whom they know not, and the land behind them shall be made utterly destitute. And any going through or returning, they have made the choice land a desolation. And we talked about that last week, that as the Most High was casting us out into all the four corners of the earth, he made our former land desolate. So with this being said, he removed everybody from that land. So the choice land that once was the choice land is a land desolate until we return, because the land needs to rest. So that little strip of land no bigger than New Jersey over there that they call Israel, which has always been Palestine, sure enough can't be the land. All right. Now, this is where we get into chapter 8, where we're actually supposed to be starting up. We just had a little recap and then also kind of kickstart the memory a little bit. So chapter 8, and the word of Yahuwah Almighty came, saying, thus saith Yahuwah Almighty, I have been jealous for Jerusalem and for Zion with great jealousy, and I have been jealous for her with great fury. Man, thus saith Yahuwah, I will return to Zion and dwell in the midst of Jerusalem, and Jerusalem shall be called a true city, and the mountain of Yahuwah Almighty a holy mountain. Thus saith Yahuwah Almighty, there shall yet dwell old men and old women in the streets of Jerusalem, everyone holding his staff in his hand for age. And the broad places of the city shall be filled with boys and girls playing in the streets thereof. Thus saith Yahuwah Almighty, if it shall be impossible in the sight of the remnant of this people in those days, shall it also be impossible in my sight? Saith Yahuwah Almighty. Wow. Yah forbid, right? Abba Yahuwah forbid. I'm going to highlight that and I'm going to screenshot that. Matter of fact, I'd have to, honestly, I'd have to get all of it. So if you can, I'm gonna go ahead and highlight that. All right, so that way now you should be able to screenshot all of that right there, the top and the bottom, you know what I'm saying? Cut and splice your screenshots however you need to, but put that on your timeline. See what people think about that. Because that's a really good question, but the answer to me is still Yahuwah forbid, right? Just because we may be stubborn, or we may be in a mindset to where we're in a position where we may not be able to see it because all the grief around us. But Yahuwah forbid that just because we can't yet see it, that he can't see it. You know what I'm saying? So I think I've let that chill long enough. And if you need to go back to it, just rewind and screenshot that. Because verse 6 is where it's at. Thus saith Yahuwah Almighty, if it shall be impossible in the sight of the remnant of this people, in those days shall it also be impossible in my sight, saith Yahuwah Almighty. Verse 7, thus saith Yahuwah Almighty, behold, I will save my people from the east country and the west country, and I will bring them in and cause them to dwell in the midst of Jerusalem. And they shall be to me a people, and I will be to them a allure in truth and in righteousness. Like I said, Yahuwah forbid, right? Thus saith Yahuwah Almighty, let your hands be strong. Yeah. Ye that hear in these days these words out of the mouth of the prophets, from the day that the house of Yahuwah Almighty was founded, and from that time that the temple was built. For before those days the wages of men could not be profitable, and there could be no hire of cattle, and there could be no peace by reason of the affliction to him that went out, or to him that came in. For I would have let loose all men, everyone against his neighbor. Ooh, wee. Man, that's you got to remember what this right here, this is coming from. All this needs highlighted. And so I'm gonna go back up and show you, just to remind you, you know what I'm saying, why. He said right here, and the word of Yahuwah Almighty came, saying, thus saith Yahuwah Almighty, I have been jealous for Jerusalem and for Zion with great jealousy, and I have been jealous for her with great fury. So when the Most High says that there was a time that, you know, the things in which he really truly wanted for us to happen, we were ruining everything. And he said right here, before those days, the wages of men could not be profitable, and there could be no hire of cattle, and there could be no peace by reason of the affliction to him that went out, or to him that came in. For I would have let loose all men, everyone against his neighbor. I would have caused civil war a long time ago. But now I will not do to the remnant of this people according to the former days, saith Yahuwah Almighty. Pause. Some of y'all remember when we went through Enoch, and you saw that the Most High caused civil war to go through on the giants. Some of y'all have been here ever since, you know, before the book of Judges. And when we was in the book of Judges and going through Joshua and going through Deuteronomy, and we saw that the Most High caused our enemies, when we had inherited the land, that they would start killing each other off by civil war. This is a repeated thing that he had done. And the Most High was about to do the same thing to us, because this is one of the things in which he does. He was about to let loose every man against his neighbor, that we should destroy ourselves off by civil war because we was acting up so daggone much. Now remember, the Most High told the prophets to call out the sin of our people, call out the sin of our nation. So when we go through these scripts and we see that this is what the Most High was going to do, we got to really think back, family, like, damn, we was acting a fool. And look around today, damn, we acting a fool. When is enough going to be enough, family? When is it going to be enough that we should truly start going from fishers to hunters? You know, going from being a fisherman of men to actually hunting people down, like, yo, get up out these streets. Yo, you really got to know what's going on. Yo, you really need to know who you are. Yo, look at these scripts, bruh. However way the Most High leads you to speak to the people that you got to speak to, knowing your audience, whichever hood you live in, wherever place you at what point are we going to look around and say enough is enough? This ain't no call out to make everybody a camp member or none of those things, because I don't do camp doctrine. I ain't in no camp, but I love my people. That's the whole entire point. I love my people. And so I want to start hitting these streets that much harder and start doing as the scriptures command, and that's freeing the people from the captivity of their own mind. So many people are held captive in their minds, and the scriptures are showing you that this thing has been going on for so long. So verse 12, but I will show peace. The vine shall yield her fruit, and the land shall yield her produce, and the heaven shall give its due, and I will give as an inheritance all these things to the remnant of my people. Peace. Peace. This is something that so many of us we don't have the slightest concept of what actual peace is. We either spend too much time arguing in our own homes, arguing at the job, got so many tasks to take care of, there's not enough time in the day, but actually having peace in the land, being in our own land to where we don't got to worry about racial profiling. We don't got to worry about profiling from our own people, fitting the description of somebody from the other side. See what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about, TX, before you. A long time no see. Welcome back. That's right. So imagine what that's going to be like to be back in our own land and truly inherit peace and the fruit of the land. You know what I'm saying? So these things are things we really need to look forward to, but we have to put in the work, family. We sure enough got to put in the work, and it's going to come down to our effort. Something I was saying earlier on today, it truly comes down to your effort in keeping the commandments and walking this thing out. As Hamashiach said, worshiping the Most High in spirit and in truth. It comes down to your effort and your integrity. How bad do you want it? And how well are you going to treat it? Every single day, every assignment, every task, every person that you minister to, or every time that you need to actually put in actual being of good service to somebody else. The effort you put into it and how well are you going to treat it? How are you going to treat the situation? That's worshiping the Most High in spirit and truth. So, verse 13, and it shall come to pass as ye were a curse among the nations, O house of Yehudah and house of Yasharal, so will I save you, and ye shall be a blessing. Be of good courage and strengthen your hands. See, this is that good talk right here. This is that real good news right here, for real, for real. This is the real Besorah. This is the real good news. salvation coming back to Yasharal and Yehuda, being brought back into our land, being in peace, being at peace, being redeemed by the Most High, being forgiven by the Most High. That's good news. That's real good news. Verse 14, for thus saith Yahuwah Almighty, as I took counsel to afflict you when your fathers provoked me, saith Yahuwah Almighty, and I repented not. The Most High said, I did not bat an eye. I did not feel bad for whooping you the way I whooped you. I didn't feel bad, not one bit, for sending the sword after you. I ain't feel bad, not one bit, sending each one of these nations after you, taking you into captivity, starving you out through famine, burning you with fire. I ain't feel bad, not one bit, because I told you and I warned you that this was going to happen if you didn't keep the covenant. I warned you and I told you that this is what was going to happen to you if you did not do as I commanded you to do and live how I commanded you to live. And since you chose not to do and live how I told you to do, when I brought my wrath upon you and you still didn't change, why should I feel bad? No, I don't feel bad. I repented not. So verse 15, so have I prepared and taken counsel in these days to do good to Jerusalem and to the house of Yehuda. Be ye of good courage. So now I'm going to highlight all of this. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to screenshot that later. So this is what it takes in this day and age. And this is why I think I really understand it now for sure, because like these things had to come to pass and happen to us so bad that, you know, once this day and time came about, these latter days came about, and we had enough historical evidence by way of the age of information to where nothing is hid. You can access it on your phone at any moment, any second. You can find the receipts for real. Even if you dig deep enough, you can find all the receipts that show all the horror and terror that has come upon us by way of, when you look through the scriptures, our own I'm gonna say disability, but our own goodness gracious. Our own disappointment in ourselves, our own disappointment to the Most High, being a disappointment to the Most High, being our own worst enemy, by self-sabotaging ourselves, by wanting to be like every other nation. You take your pick, but we got to have some kind of accountability from beginning to end and all in between. We can no longer walk around with no accountability that we were not warned throughout the scripts. So now, like I'm saying, in this day and age, through the age of information, it should be able to hit hard enough to where when the Most High says this right here, for thus saith Yahuwah Almighty, as I took counsel to afflict you when your fathers provoked me, and I repented not. Verse 15, so have I prepared and taken counsel in these days to do good to Jerusalem and to the house of Yehuda. Be ye of good courage. So all these things got set in motion. So then that way, when the proper time will come, the Ruach of the Most High will come upon his people, wake his people up in the lands of their captivity, all the places we scattered to, and that we would diligently do better by our people. Because we would have the biblical and historical references, as well as the modern day references that you can look around and see, and you can relate with your brothers and sisters now and say, look, can you not see who we are? Can you not see that we the people? Can you not see that we fit the description? And can you not see that by changing our ways, salvation is guaranteed? So when you look through these scriptures and you see that this is why the Eurocentric church never read these scriptures to you, because if they read these scriptures to you, you would really start associating yourself back then with who you are in the scriptures. Things would have already changed. You would no longer be at the bottom. You would no longer be the tail. You would start becoming the head. That's right. All these wannabes are getting on my nerves. Facts. Trying to tell them obedience. Yes, I'm ready for real. I'm ready to go home. I want to go home so bad. But there's so much work we still got left to do. We really got to put in work. As bad as I want to go home, I know good and well the Most High requires more work of me in whatever streets the Most High would have me in, whether it's at my job or over in Greensboro, here in Thomasville, in High Point, Winston-Salem, wherever he would send me to go. There are people that need waking up. And if I know good and well, I can say that without the shadow of a doubt in my mind. I know there's so many of y'all that should be thinking the same thing right about now. The Most High has work in need of you to put in work wherever you at and wherever he will send you to wake up his people and free them from the captivity of their own mind. Restore sight to the blind. Fulfill these scriptures. Fulfill his word. As Hamashiach said, think not that I've come to destroy the law or the prophets, but rather I come to fulfill it. So fulfill these words by doing good to the orphan, the widow, the fatherless, the poor. Restore sight to the blind. Fulfill the law and the prophets. Fulfill loving your brothers and sisters as you love yourself. Fulfill loving the Most High as you would love yourself. Fulfill the commandments. Fulfill the statutes. You know what I mean? So anyway, verse 16. These are the things which ye shall do. Speak truth, everyone, with his neighbor. Judge truth and peaceable judgment in your gates. And let none of you devise evil in his heart against his neighbor. And love not a false oath or a false promise. For all these things I hate, saith Yahuwah Almighty. If he did not just break down the law, very simple and plain, he just broke down the 10 commandments. So simple and plain. That is fulfilling the law. All 10 commandments are being fulfilled in verse 16 and 17. So, verse 18, and the word of Yahuwah Almighty came to me, saying, thus saith Yahuwah Almighty, the 4th fast and the 5th fast and the 7th fast and the 10th fast shall be to the house of Yehudah for joy and gladness and for good feasts, and ye shall rejoice and love ye the truth and peace. Now, family, we just got done talking a little something about this. I think maybe it's time we dig in a little bit and find out what these are. The 4th fast, the 5th fast, the 7th fast, and the 10th fast. So we got 4 fasts, actual fasts in a year. If you got 4 fasts in a year, that means the Most High was already planning on something coming upon you that you got to purge out to stay in good health and in good, decent sense inside your scalp. So that way the things in which you speak are not corrupted by unclean spirits inside your body, aka parasites. So once every season, pretty much, The fourth fast, fifth fast, seventh fast, and 10th fast shall be to the house of Yehuda for joy and gladness, and for good feasts. And ye shall rejoice and love ye the truth and peace. Verse 20, thus saith Yahuwah Almighty, yet shall many people come, and the inhabitants of many cities, and the inhabitants of 5 cities shall come together to one city, saying, let us go to make supplication to Yahuwah, and to seek the face of Yahuwah Almighty. And I will go also, and many peoples and many nations shall come to seek earnestly the face of Yahuwah Almighty in Jerusalem, and to obtain favor of Yahuwah. Verse 23, thus saith Yahuwah Almighty, in those days my word shall be fulfilled, if 10 men of all languages of the nations should take hold, even take hold of the hem of a Yehudi, saying, we will go with thee, for we have heard that Allah is with you. I got it. Like all of this. It's like this right now. We coming across one of those times in the prophets to where like almost 2 chapters of information is all highlightable, powerful information. This is powerful. And I know you've heard this before coming from Teyu Ministries and whatnot. Zechariah 23. Thus saith Yahuwah Almighty, in those days my word shall be fulfilled, if 10 men of all the languages of the nations should take hold, even take hold of the hem of a Yehudi, saying, we will go with you, for we have heard that Allah is with you. So with that being said, family, does it make any good sense to you, as I'm over here highlighting the word you, does it make any good sense to you that as you come into this truth and you're worshiping the Most High and you're learning and starting to get an understanding on the feast days and the fast and things like that, does it make any good sense to you that we would exalt ourselves so high to treat everybody else like garbage? Because if that makes sense to you, that we should treat people like garbage to exalt ourselves as the true people of the book, then this verse right here makes no sense to you. This verse could not be fulfilled through you. And I need to make sure you understand that. Then anybody else out there that is so-called teaching, preaching, whatever, even street teaching or Bible studying, whatever, if you feel as though you have to exalt yourself so high as to talk 24 karat crazy to the rest of the world, the rest of the nations out there, even the ones that have oppressed us, then this walk may not be for you. Because the Most High said his word shall be fulfilled if 10 men of all the languages of the nations should take hold, even take hold of the hem of a Yehudi, saying, we will go with you, for we have heard that Allah is with you. Why would they even want to subject themselves to being in your company if you're talking 24 karat crazy? That's the part people need to reconcile. This is the facts. What people would want to subject themselves to your wisdom or why would they want to take hold of the hem of your garment as a real Yehudi if you're not displaying that the Most High is with you? So we gotta reconcile these things, family. Trust and believe. I'm not gonna let none of these other nations talk crazy to me. I'm going to defend myself. At the same time, I'm not going to roll up on them and be like, kiss my boots, lick my shoes, make sure you get between the toes. Nah, nah. The best way to get them truly to submit to you is by showing them true wisdom, true understanding, true elevated IQ, that their reasoning is flawed. And you don't do that through a competition of words per se as, nah, 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 nah. No, but you do it in a manner in which they cannot avoid that their reasoning is flawed. You do it in a manner that is wise. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm trying to think of the best example to give so we can move on. I guess I'll use this analogy. We went through this in service, a couple times. One of the situations that came before Solomon was that a woman had a child and she abandoned her child. After she had abandoned her child, her baby, she saw another woman loving that baby. And she had taken that woman to court before Solomon saying she wanted her baby back. And the other woman said, no, this is my baby. And the real mother was like, no, it's my baby. And they kept fighting back and forth over the baby. And so Solomon said, all right, I'll tell you what, I'll settle it. I'll cut the baby in half and you can each have a half of the baby. The woman that actually showed compassion, that rescued the baby, said, no, don't harm the baby. Just give her to her. And the other woman said, what do I care? The woman that actually had the child and threw the child away said, what do I care if you cut the baby in half? And Solomon awarded the child to the woman that actually had a heart to raise the child as a proper mother. So situations like that, I just use that as a random situation, right? But you got to show these people that their reasoning is flawed and that they're not as wise as they think they are. But you got to do it in a manner in which is respectful. Yet it hits to the point that, you might not be as wise as you think you are. The Most High has shown me that this is the way to be, this is the way to go, and I'm out. I'm going this way. And they're going to end up reconciling within themselves that, you know what, hey, the Most High is with this person. I'm rolling with them. So let's go on to the next chapter, right? Chapter 9. The burden of the word of Yahuwah in the land of Sedrach, and his sacrifice shall be in Damascus. For Yahuwah looks upon men and upon all the tribes of Yasharal. And in Emah, even in her coasts, are Tyre and Zidon, because they were very wise. And Tyrus built strongholds for herself, and heaped up silver and dust, and gathered gold as the mire of the waves. Meaning like can't go with a good analogy for that one. Maybe Most High help me up with it in a little bit. Verse 4. And therefore Yahuwah will take them for possession, and will smite her power in the sea, and she shall be consumed with fire. Excuse me. Ashkelon shall see and fear. Gaza also shall be greatly pained, and Akron, for she is ashamed, and her trespass, and the king shall perish from Gaza, and Ashkelon shall not be inhabited, and aliens shall dwell in Azotus, and I will bring down the pride of the Philistines, and I will take their blood out of their mouth, and their abominations from between their teeth. And these also shall be left to Aralua, and they shall be as a captain of 1,000 in Yehuda, and Acharon as a Jebusite. And I will set up a defense for my house, that they might not pass through nor turn back, neither shall there any more come upon them one to drive them away. For now I have seen with mine eyes. Rejoice greatly, O daughter of Zion. Proclaim it aloud, O daughter of Jerusalem. Behold, the king is coming to thee, just and a savior. And he is meek and riding on a donkey, or riding on an ass, and a young foal. And he shall destroy the chariots out of Ephraim, and the horse out of Jerusalem. And the bow of war shall be utterly destroyed, and there shall be abundance and peace out of the nations. And he shall rule over the waters as far as the sea, and the rivers to the ends of the earth. And thou, by the blood of thy covenant, hast sent forth thy prisoners out of the pit that has no water. Ye shall dwell in strongholds, ye prisoners of the congregation. And for one day of thy captivity, I will recompense thee double. For I have bent thee, O Yehuda, from myself as a bow. I have filled Ephraim, and I will raise up thy children, O Zion, against the children of the Greeks. And I will handle thee as the sword of a warrior, and Yahuwah shall be over them. And his arrow shall go forth as lightning, and Yahuwah Almighty shall blow with the trumpet, and shall proceed with the tumult of his threatening. See, when Abba proceeds with the tumult of his threatening, he's coming to fulfill his word. His threats are not empty promises. They are about to be handled. Yahuwah Almighty shall protect them, and they shall destroy them and overwhelm them with sling stones, and they shall swallow them down as wine and fill their bowels as the altar, or their bowls as the altar. And Yahuwah will, their Alua shall save them in that day, even his people as a flock. For holy stones are rolled upon his land. And for if he has anything good, and if he has anything fair, the young men shall have corn, and there shall be fragrant wine to the virgins. All praise to the Most High. See, and I say that because the Most High ain't got no problem with us having wine responsibly. So one of the things I got told a long time ago is to drink of the wine, but not to become drunk. If your goal is to get drunk, then you're already in sin. If the goal is to get toe up, you're already in sin. And you're already going to give yourself over to deception. But having a good time, by having great wine or Grant wine, or, then ain't nothing wrong with that. Laughing, giggling, cracking good jokes, being in good cheer. You're supposed to do that. But if you're acting a fool, all right, you might need to go lay it down. Matter of fact, I think it's time for you to go to bed. you acting up. You're doing the most. Anyway, next chapter. So, ask ye of Yahuwah, rain in season, the early and the latter rain. Yahuwah has given bright signs and will give them abundant rain to everyone grass in the field. For the speakers have uttered grievous things, and the diviners or the diviners have seen false visions, and they have spoken false dreams. They have had vain comfort. Therefore have they fallen away like sheep and been afflicted because there was no healing. Be careful who you're listening to. Be very careful who you're listening to. There are people out here that are getting false dreams, false visions. Verse 3, mine anger was kindled against the shepherds, and I will visit the lambs, and Yahuwah, Eluah Almighty, shall visit his flock, the house of Yehudah, and he shall make them as his goodly horse in war. And from him he looked, and from him he set the battle in order. And from him came the bow in anger, and from him shall come forth every oppressor together. And they shall be as warriors treading clay in the ways in war. And they shall set the battle in array, because Yahuwah is with them, and the riders on horses shall be put to shame. Ooh, wait. See, this is the part where I'll be wanting to be like, when I mean, I know we do it at Seventh Day as well, and I love my people. Trust and believe. This ain't no shot. This ain't no shame. I ain't trying to throw no shade at nobody in the sanctuary. But a lot of time we'll be, Prophetess Ezekiel will be like, Yehudah, when we time to go out to war, he sent Yehudah first, Yehudah being the praisers. And I be wanting to be like, y'all don't know Yehudah, man. Y'all don't know Yehudah. You need to read Jasher. And Jasher, you read Jasher, and that'll show you what Yehudah really about. So remember when we went through Jasher, and we went through the whole the fighting around the whole land, where the sons of Yaqub had went around the whole land and had to go from village to village, going just because they started in Shechem, and they went around to each of the villages and had to lay waste to all of them. And at first, Yaqub was scared. He thought all of them tribes and nations was going to destroy them because they were so few in number. And now. And in fact, Yehudah, he ended up going straight forward. He wasn't about no praising. He was about putting foot to tail, fist to face, sword to throat. He was not playing. Y'all don't even understand. Y'all don't know Yehudah like you think you do. That's right. So, anyway, let's keep it moving. Verse 6. And I will strengthen the house of Yehudah and save the house of Joseph. And I will settle them, because I have loved them, and they shall be as if I had not cast them off. For I am Yahuwah, their Eluah, and I will hear them. See, this is that part right there as well. This is another one of them verses why the other nations can't stand you. They can't stand you. They can't stand me. They can't stand us. They can't stand we. Because the Most High has said, and this is why Hamashiach said to the woman at the well, a Samaritan woman, he says, y'all worship what you know not. You don't even know what you worship. But we know what we worship. For salvation is of the Yahudim. This is why the Most High said he's going to save the Yahudi. He's going to save all of his people. That's the good news. That's the Besorah. That the Most High is going to save us and redeem us and forgive us. And he said right here, I will strengthen the house of Yehuda and save the house of Joseph, and I will settle them because I have loved them, and they shall be as if I had not cast them off. He said they're going to be to me as though I had never sent them away. Let that sink in. Ain't that good news? Ain't that some good news, nigga? I can't help it. Somebody, oh man, pray for your eye. Ain't that some good news? Sheesh. For I am Yahuwah, their allure, and I will hear them. And they shall be as the warriors of Ephraim, and their heart shall rejoice as with wine, and their children also shall see it and be glad, and their heart shall rejoice in Yahuwah. I will make a sign to them and gather them in, for I will redeem them, and they shall be multiplied according to their number before. See, I gotta highlight all this. You I don't think y'all understand when you see stuff like this. Now, please get you a screenshot of that and put it on your timeline. I want to scroll through Coon Book and see like 100 of these, 1,000 of these. Share this. Share this information. Screenshot that. Make sure you put the caption up top. This is why they don't like you. This is why they don't like us. This is why they continue to try killing us in the streets and have been doing so for so many hundreds of years. This is why. And you just know that, you're going to have folks that don't understand. You're going to have folks that are going to try to argue with you. Don't argue with them. Don't argue with them. Don't waste your breath in arguing. Even the scripture says don't cast your pearls before swine. But I would simply say and suggest, read the scriptures. And as much as I hate to say it, I use that Drewski line. You know what I'm saying? He said you got to read the book, brother. It's all in the book. You got to read the book. I can't stand that. I'm serious. My dudes I work with and everything, they put that in our group chat, and they was trying to say that that's me. That's how I be rolling through work, and I don't talk like that. I don't act like that at work. I don't mess with them like that, period. But it's just the fact that, I thought it was still kind of funny. I knew who they was talking about when they put it in the group chat. So that one guy at work, you know what I'm saying, that be on a different level. Yeah, mockers, yeah. Yeah, they mocking, but it is what it is. Thankfully, the Most High warned us that things like this was going to happen. You know what I'm saying? So just because the people look like you does not mean that they always going to have your best interests at heart. You got to be more than ready for the mockery. So verse 9, and I will sow them among the people, and that they are afar off shall remember me. They shall nourish their children, and they shall return. And I will bring them again from the land of Egypt, and I will gather them in from among the Assyrians, and I will bring them into the land of Galaad, and to Libanus or Libya or Lebanon, and there shall not even one of them be left behind. And they shall pass through a narrow sea. They shall smite the waves in the sea, and all the deep places of the rivers shall be dried up, and all the pride of the Assyrians shall be taken away, and the scepter of Egypt shall be removed, and I will strengthen them in Yahuwah, their allure, and they shall boast in his name, saith Yahuwah. See, this is another one of them scripts where you gotta highlight all of it. You might want to screenshot it. You might want to throw that on your timeline because this right here, it lends on into so many different things. I mean, all right, one, coming back out of Egypt. We are already in spiritual Egypt here, but then when you look at the Assyrians, it make you want to go back and look through the book of Judges or any and all the scriptures that deal with the Assyrian people and see the habits of the Assyrian people. So when you see those habits, you can be like, oh, yeah, now I get it. So when the scriptures are speaking more than just literal and they're speaking from a figurative standpoint, you can tell the difference. You know when it's talking literal and you know when it's talking spiritual or figurative, things like that. So next chapter, I believe this is chapter 11. I'm going to go back up to the top. Yeah, chapter 11. Open thy doors of Lebanon, and let the fire devour thy cedars. Let the pine howl because the cedar has fallen, for the mighty men have been greatly afflicted. Howl, ye oaks of the land of Bashan, for the thickly planted forest has been torn down. There is a voice of the shepherds mourning, for their greatness is brought low. A voice of roaring lions, for the pride of Jordan or Yarden is brought down. Thus saith Yahuwah Almighty, feed the sheep of the slaughter, which their possessors have slain and have not repented. Pause. See now, when you see in the New Testament, when Hamashiach is asking Peter, he said, do you love me? Right? Oh, Yahushua, you know I love you. And he said, feed my sheep. Feed the sheep of the slaughter, which their possessors have slain and have not repented. These people are not sorry for doing what they have done. And this is part of why they're going to get such a huge recompense. They're not sorry. And they that sold them said, blessed be the Lord. I had to say it like that because they don't know Yahuwah like that. For we have become rich, and their shepherds have suffered no sorrow for them. I had to say it like that. So if y'all looking at your phone crazy, you're looking at your TV crazy, like, this nigga done lost his mind. Who he got up in the office with him talking like that? Who did he convince talking like, man, I'm trying to tell you. Anyway, these people, right? Therefore, I will no longer have mercy upon the inhabitants of the land, saith Yahuwah. But behold, I will deliver up the men, every one into the hand of his neighbor, and into the hand of his king. And they shall destroy the land, and I will not rescue out of their hand. So, remember when the Most High said he was going to do that to us too? Remember we just got done discussing how many times in Scripture, ever since Red Letter Rap has been on YouTube, we've been seeing from the scripts that the Most High does this thing. He does this thing where he will turn everyone against their neighbor, and civil war is the way to do it. Because he will cause them to wipe themselves out. And the remnant of those people that have not yet been wiped out either go into captivity or they just get murked off by the third party. So, see, as for you guys, see over here. I'm glad to be a good comedic youth, sis. So no. Verse 7. And I will tend the flock of slaughter in the land of Canaan, and I will take for myself 2 rods, the one called beauty, and the other called line. And I will tend the flock, and I will cut off 3 shepherds in 1 month. And my soul shall grieve over them, for their souls cried out against me. And I said, I will not tend you. That which dies, let it die. And if that which falls off, let it fall off. And let the rest eat every one the flesh of his neighbor. Ooh, wee. Abba is not playing. Abba is not playing. So I do kind of feel sorry for those so-called shepherds that turned against the Most High. And, he said that they, right here, and my soul shall grieve over them, for their souls cried out against me. And I said, I will not tend you. I am not going to keep you. I ain't going to hold you. You know what I mean? I'm not going to sustain you. I'm not going to let you keep, acting a fool against me and trying to get my people to follow you. No, it's a wrap. And I said, I will not tend you. That which dies, let it die. And that which falls off, let it fall off. See, and that's another thing. That's another thing. That this right here is a script that we got as we're trying to bear witness to our people, right? Trying to wake them up. And there's going to come a time when we're going to transform from fishers of men to being hunters. We talked about this earlier. But at the same time, you can't force people. You can be passionate with them, you know what I'm saying? But as Hamashiach broke down in so many parables that what the kingdom of heaven is like, a sower, though the man that, cast this seed over here, and he's trying to sow seed wherever the seed may land, all these different types of people or demographics of people, hot-headed people, which is the sand, the stony ground, which it may have a little bit of dirt in there. And they may get a little excited about the word when they first hear it and they spring up, but they ain't got enough dirt. They ain't got enough foundation. So when tribulation comes, they gone. You got others that they face straight from the block. They straight from the hood. The thorns and thistles choke up the word because of so-called fame, fortune, lifestyle, peer pressure, all of that. The thorns and thistles in the hood, in the ghetto, will choke out that seed, choke out that thing. And then some seed falls by the wayside, and so they were in the street. They were in the traveling path. And so once it was in the traveling path, and then Hashatan swoops right down on it in the way of a stray bullet and take them out. Because they didn't get out the street. Or the seed was sown too far in the street and didn't catch them in the place of being in good soil. Nor did they ever think about being transplanted to a place of good soil where the knowledge could actually mature and a life change, a heart change, a mind change, and a life change could happen. So these are the types of things that, the Most High is showing all throughout the scripts. And when you start looking at the parables, in this same manner, it all starts to make good sense to you. And when you go back, once again, like we're going back to read the prophets, why did Hamashiach say, think not that I've come to destroy the law or the prophets, but rather I've come to fulfill it? And we answered that question earlier as well, because when you continue to see throughout all of these things, there is good news all throughout the prophets. Is there some a whole lot of punishment? Oh yeah, facts. Yeah, big facts. There's punishment all through the prophets. It ain't nothing nice. But then there's parts like what we've been seeing with the redemption that the Most High is going to bring upon us, excuse me, family, and forgiving us of our sins and iniquities. That part, that's the good news so many times over. Shalom, fingerprint consultants. So, verse 10, and I will take my beautiful staff and cast it away, that I may break my covenant, which I made with all the people. And it shall be broken in that day. And the Canaanites, the sheep that are kept for me, shall know that is the word of Yahuwah. And I will say to them, if it be good in your eyes, give me my price or refuse it. Now, this right here is a very good script that as I'm reading it, let's keep reading. Let's get this paragraph out. And they weighed for my price 30 pieces of silver. And Yahuwah said to me, drop them into the furnace, and I will see if it is good metal. And I was proved for their sakes. And I took the 30 pieces of silver and cast them into the furnace, into the house of Yahuwah. So, there's a couple things that I'm catching in here, and a couple things I'm not really catching. I'm just gonna keep it a whole buck with you, right? So, right over here, remember that it's all right. Remember in Jubilees, we had gotten to the part about the land treaty, right? And that the land treaty that became law, and it's even written in the Torah now. And the reason why it was written in the Torah is to not to move your brother's land marker, right? Right. Okay. So in Jubilees, we saw that Canaan set up shop in Shem's land. Those of y'all that know that Canaan is a son of Ham, not Shem. So when he set up shop in Shem's land, he broke the land treaty. He moved his brother's land marker. He was warned by Ham, Put, Mizraim, Cush, and another one. I'm trying to remember who it was. They all, basically all of them, warned him, don't do it. Don't do it. You're going to make yourself a curse. He did it anyway. So it's funny how in the regular European authorized King James Version, they keep calling the promised land Canaan land, Canaan land, Canaan land, Canaan land, Canaan. I had to do that little echo thing just on purpose, just to kind of make it hit home. They kept calling it that when it was never Canaan's land. But see, they never showed you the land treaty. They never showed you Jubilees for it to make sense to you on how come when we came out of Egypt, we were to inherit that land or re-inherit that land. The Most High sent Abraham into that land to make sure he knew that he was going to give back the land to its rightful people of Shem. From the sons of Shem, the land was supposed to return to the Shemitic people, the Shemite people, aka the Israelite people, from the seed of Abraham, Yitzhak, and Jacob. So I say that to now get to this part right here. And I will take my beautiful staff and cast it away, that I may break my covenant which I made with all the people. Pause right there. So now this is the part where I remind you that when we went through the book of Judges, matter of fact, no, we went through the book of Joshua, right? And we saw how we was inheriting the land in certain places, but there were other places that they didn't eradicate the people. They didn't fully inherit the land. In fact, they broke part of the covenant with the Most High by letting these people live, and they made covenant with those Canaanite people and allowed them to live in the land still, like in Gibeon, right? Major point in case in what I'm talking about. Go back to the book of Joshua, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, and once you get to the part where they get into the land of Gibeon, the Gibeonite people lied to Joshua or Yahusha or Yehoshua, whichever dialect you speak, it is what it is. So they lied to him saying that, oh, we're Israelites. We come from a far land. We just happen to get here. That's right. They lied. They lied and they said that, oh, we're of your people. We your cousins. You know what I'm saying? And, but when they went to go to war against other Canaanite people, the Gibeonites, they didn't help. And Joshua finally found them out, was like, hold on, y'all ain't helped us. Y'all ain't helped us. And here's another thing that was funny. Joshua looked at their clothes, and their excuse about their clothes being ragtag, torn up, their shoes all messed up, is that they came from a far land to get to that land. But see, Joshua knew that the Most High told them, the whole time y'all been in the wilderness for 40 years, your clothes ain't been waxed old, your shoes ain't messed up, your garments ain't messed up, because I've kept you. So if these Gibeonite people was your people and they come from a far land and they really your people, now how come your clothes messed up but our clothes ain't messed up? You feel me? So there's all these things that start coming about. And so the chief of the Gibeonites was like, well, whatever it is that when we lied because we heard y'all was coming and we knew y'all were coming to take back the land. And nobody put two and two together. We take back the land. How are we going to take back a land we never been to? Oh, no. See, take back the land means it's supposed to go back to the rightful bloodline people that's supposed to be in the land. That's what that means. So, point still is, Joshua, Yehoshua, Yahusha, from the son of Nun, did not fully inherit the land. They ended up making covenants with some of these Canaanite people and allowed them to be in the land. So that also brings back to the point where Noah was like, and cursed shall be Canaan, a servant of servants shall he be to his brethren. And so the Gibeonite people swore up and down that they would go ahead and they would be hewers of wood and fetchers of water for the Israelites. They would be servants to them. And that happened to be the same case that happened with some other people, other tribes of the Canaanite people. So now back to these scriptures. And I will take my beautiful staff and cast it away, that I may break my covenant which I made with all the people. And it shall be broken in that day, and the Canaanites, the sheep that are kept for me, shall know that it is the word of Yahuwah. So this part right here is talking about what happened in the book of Joshua a covenant that came through the Most High's people that really wasn't supposed to happen in the first place. But since it happened, the Most High went ahead and allowed it because he had already also warned us that by doing this was going to be a downfall for you later in the line. And it came to pass. So the Most High said he's going to take that covenant and say, you know what? No, this covenant is now void. Pay me back for the whole time y'all been in this land that you never should have been in the first place. AKA right here, verse 12. And I will say to them, if it be good in your eyes, give me my price or refuse it. Either pay me what you owe me for being in this land you're never supposed to have been in, give me my price or refuse it. And he said that they weighed for me my price, 30 pieces of silver. And Yahuwah said to me, drop them into the furnace, and I will see if it is good metal. Let's see if it's good silver. As I was proved for their sakes, and I took the 30 pieces of silver and cast them into the furnace in the house of Yahuwah. So now let's see what the rest of the scriptures say, though, right? I had to make sure I broke down what this right here means as it pertains to what we've already seen in the scripts. So verse 14, and I cast away my second rod, even line, that I might break the possession between Yehuda and Yasharal. And Yahuwah said to me, take yet to thee shepherds' implements belonging to an unskillful shepherd. For behold, I will raise up a shepherd against the land, and he shall not visit that which is perishing, and he shall not seek that which is scattered, and he shall not heal that which is bruised, nor guide that which is whole, but he shall devour the flesh of the choice ones, and shall dislocate the joints of their necks. Ooh, wee. I might need to spend some more time with that one. I'm just gonna keep it a bill with you. But yeah, that's wild. An unskillful shepherd. He ain't gonna heal nothing, ain't gonna fix nothing. He basically gonna make things worse and dislocate the joints of their necks. Ooh, wow. Verse 17, alas for the vain shepherds that have forsaken the sheep. The sword shall be upon the arms of such a one and upon his right eye. His arm shall be completely withered, and his right eye shall be utterly darkened. All right, next verse, next chapter, actually, because I gotta wrestle my flesh down. I can't let my flesh talk too crazy, right? Because I had some sarcasm trying to creep on through, and I'm not gonna do it. So, next chapter, the burden of the word of Yahuwah for Yasharal, saith Yahuwah, that stretches out the sky and lays the foundation of the earth, and forms the spirit of man within him. Behold, I will make Jerusalem as trembling doorposts to all the nations round about. And in Yehuda or Judea, there shall be a siege against Jerusalem. And it shall come to pass in that day that I will make Jerusalem a trodden stone to all the nations. Excuse me. Now, this one is pretty obvious. This right here pertains to 70 AD. Right? This one's pretty obvious. Everyone that tramples on it shall utterly mock at it. And all the nations All the nations of the earth shall be gathered together against it. This is also the transatlantic slave trade and the Arab slave trade. In that day, saith Yahuwah Almighty, I will smite every horse with amazement and his rider with madness. But I will open mine eyes upon the house of Yehudah, and I will smite all the horses of the nations with blindness. So now, it's not just taking us into captivity, but this is something a little greater. Actually, a lot greater. And the captains of thousands of Yehudah shall say in their hearts, we shall find for ourselves the inhabitants of Jerusalem in Yahuwah Almighty their allure. In that day I will make the captains of thousands of Yehudah as a firebrand among wood, and as a torch of fire and stubble, and they shall devour on the right hand and on the left all the nations round about. And Jerusalem shall dwell again by herself, even in Jerusalem. And Yahuwah shall save the tabernacles of Yehudah as at the beginning, that the boast of the house of Dawid, Dawid or Dawad, and in the pride of the inhabitants of Jerusalem may not magnify themselves in Yehudah. And it shall come to pass in that day that Yahuwah shall defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and the weak one among them in that day shall be as David or Dawid, and the house of Dawid as the house of Alua, as the angel of Yahuwah before them. Ooh, we. All right, so pause. Pause, family. Maya. All right. So we got to remember, right? This is pretty powerful. You know, that he said that the weakest one, and it shall come to pass in that day that Yahuwah shall defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and the weak one among them in that day shall be as David. The weak one is going to be like, give me 5 smooth stones in a sling. Watch this. Hold my wine. Watch this. Hold my wine. We're going to put this stone in your scalp. I can't help it. I can't help it. Yes, Yah will use the meek. They ain't helpless. They just, you know, they just watching. All right. So the weak ones among them shall be as David, in the house of David as the house of Alua, as the angel of Yahuwah before them. So, in this last part, the angel of Yahuwah before them, remember in Joshua, when they was getting ready to cross the Jordan, and the angel of Yahuwah had appeared before them, and they said, you know, Joshua and them was like, are you for us, or are you for them, or are you for us? And he said, nay, I'm for Yahuwah. And he was like, he had to look upon him as though he was ready to put every sinner down. Everybody that ain't gonna keep the covenant, he had that look on his face like he is ready to put everybody down by himself through the whole millions of people. Just, yeah, he was not playing. So, and he said that the house of David shall be as the house of Alua, as the angel of Yahuwah before them, ready to wreck shop. Verse 9, and it shall come to pass in that day that I will seek to destroy all the nations that come against Jerusalem. And I will pour upon the house of David or Dawid, and upon the inhabitants of Jerusalem, the spirit of grace and compassion, and they shall look upon me, because they have mocked me, and they shall make lamentation for him as for a beloved friend, and they shall grieve intensely as for a firstborn son. In that day, the lamentation of Jerusalem shall be very great, as the mourning for the pomegranate grove cut down in the plain. And the land shall lament in separate families. The families, or the family of the house of David by itself, and their wives by themselves. The family of the house of Nathan by itself, and their wives by themselves. The family of the house of Levi, or Lauyah, by itself, and their wives by themselves. The family of Simeon, or Shaman, by itself, and their wives by themselves. All the families that are left, each family by itself, and their wives by themselves. And in that day, every place shall be opened to the house of David, or Dawad, and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem for removal and for separation. And it shall come to pass in that day, saith Yahuwah to Saba, that I will utterly destroy the names of the idols from off the land, and there shall be no longer any remembrance of them. And I will cut off the false prophets and the evil spirit from the land. Pause. See, I can't wait for this part. See, this is that part that that I'm can't wait to see, because this is like part of some of the biggest reasons why we've kept going into captivity after captivity after captivity. We started false idol worshiping, and not only that, but the major point is not putting evil out the land by way of respecter of persons. So you may had a cousin or a friend or somebody that was cool in other ways, but you come to find out they worship a false name, and you're like, but they so cool. I can't just up and kill them. Nah, that's that respecter of persons garbage. Nah, they gotta go. They don't worship the Most High. They worshiping false names. They worshiping pagan idols and pagan deities. They gotta go. And so the Most High is saying, I will cut off the false prophets. Make sure when you get a chance to look up in your concordance, whether it's on your phone or your hardback concordance, what a prophet is. And you're going to see that it's generally an inspired person, whether it be a male or female. They are inspired by the Most High. So if it's a false prophet, they are falsely inspired. They get false visions, they get false wisdom, and they give lies to the people. They're misguiding the people through false direction. He's getting rid of them and the evil spirits from off the land that are influencing these false prophets and influencing the rest of the people into false worship. He's getting rid of all of it. Verse 3, and it shall come to pass, if a man will yet prophesy, that his father and his mother which gave birth to him shall say to him, thou shalt not live, for thou hast spoken lies in the name of Yahuwah. And his father and his mother who gave him birth shall bind him as he is prophesying. And it shall come to pass in that day that the prophets shall be ashamed, every one of his vision when he prophesies. And they shall clothe themselves with a garment of hair, because they have lied. And one shall say, I am not a prophet, for I am a tiller of the ground, For a man brought me up thus from my youth, and I will say to him, what are these wounds between thine hands? And he shall say, those with which I was wounded in my beloved house. Ooh, we. Mm. See, it. Mm. This is why I would just rather be known as your brother. That I would just, I would just so much rather be known as your brother, not a prophet, especially not a self-proclaimed prophet. You know, none of those things. I would rather just be your brother. I don't need titles. I don't need none of that foolishness. You know, I'm cool. I'm cool. Verse 7. Awake, O sword, against my shepherds and against the man who is my citizen, saith Yahuwah Almighty. Smite the shepherds and draw out the sheep, and I will bring my hand upon the little ones. And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith Yahuwah, 2 parts thereof shall be cut off and perish, but the third shall be left therein. 2/3 got to go. And I will bring the third part through the fire, and I will try them as silver is tried, and I will prove them as gold is proved. And they shall call upon my name, and I will hear them and say, this is my people. And they shall say, Yahuwah is my Lord. Behold, the days of Yahuwah come, and thy spoils shall be divided in thee. And I will gather all the Gentiles to Jerusalem to war, and the city shall be taken, and the houses plundered, and the women ravished, and half of the city shall go forth into captivity. But the rest of my people shall not be utterly cut off from the city. And Yahuwah shall go forth and fight with those Gentiles, as when he fought in the day of war. And his feet shall stand in that day in the Mount of Olives, which is before Jerusalem on the east. And the Mount of Olives shall cleave asunder, half of it toward the east and the west, a very great division. And the half of the mountain shall lean to the north, and half of it to the south. And the valley of the mountains shall be closed up, and the valley of the mountains shall be joined on the Yasad, and shall be blocked up as it was blocked up in the days of the earthquake, in the days of Ozias, king of Yehuda. And Yahuwah, my Eluah, shall come, and all the saints with him. And it shall come to pass in that day that there should be no light, and there shall be for one day cold and frost. And that day shall be known to Yahuwah, and it shall not be day nor night, but towards evening it shall be light. And in that day living water shall come forth out of Jerusalem, half of it toward the former sea, and half of it toward the latter sea. And so shall it be in summer and in spring. And Yahuwah shall be king over all the earth. In that day there shall be one Yahuwah, and his name one, compassing all the earth and the wilderness, from Gabe unto Ramah, south of Jerusalem, and Ramah shall remain in its place. From the gate of Benjamin to the place of the first gate, to the gate of the corners, and toward the I guess I gotta say Anamil or Anamil, for as far as the king's wine presses. They shall dwell in the city, and there shall be no more any curse, and Jerusalem shall dwell securely. And I think that one, no, shall dwell securely. And this shall be the overthrow with which Yahuwah will smite all the nations, as many as have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they are standing upon their feet, and their eyes shall melt out of their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. And there shall be in that day a great panic from Yahuwah upon them, and they shall lay hold every man of the hand of his neighbor, and his hand shall be clasped with the hand of his neighbor. Yehuda also shall fight in Jerusalem, and Yahuwah shall gather the strength of all the nations round about, gold and silver and apparel in great abundance. And this shall be the overthrow of the horses and the mules and camels and asses and all the beasts that are in those camps according to this overthrow. And it shall come to pass that whosoever shall be left of all the nations that came against Jerusalem shall even come up every year to worship the King Yahuwah Almighty, and to keep the Feast of Tabernacles, or Sukkot. And it shall come to pass that whosoever of all the families of the earth shall not come up to Jerusalem to worship the King Yahuwah Almighty, even these shall be added to the others. And if the family of Egypt shall not go up nor come, then upon them shall be the overthrow with which Yahuwah shall smite all the nations, whichever of them shall not come up to keep the Feast of Tabernacle. This shall be the sin of Egypt and the sin of all the nations, whosoever shall not come up to keep the Feast of Tabernacles. In that day there shall be upon the bridle of every horse holiness to Yahuwah Almighty. And the cauldrons in the house of Yahuwah shall be as bowls before the altar, and every pot in Jerusalem and in Yehudah shall be holy to Yahuwah Almighty. And all that sacrifice shall come and take of them, and shall see the meat in them. And in that day there shall be no more the Canaanite in the house of Yahuwah Almighty. No more Canaanites. And I believe that will do it right there, family. And so next week, Most High willing, Malachi. All right. So, family, that book goes in. I'm definitely loving, ZakarYahu straight from the Septuigent. Definitely a lot to learn, family. A lot to learn, and there's some things in there that I think that we share the document. Okay, cool. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, if you do not, and I repeat, if you do not have this Septuagint, by all means, I'm gonna put the link right here in the chat. As a matter of fact, hold up. I think I already re-put it out on the channel. So I'm trying to go to post. Yeah, let me go ahead and share screen with y'all right quick. All right, so like I said, if you do not have this Greek Septuagint with these bookmarks and everything up in there, come right here to RedLetter Wrap. Come over here to post, all the way on the end. Scroll down right quick, and here it is. This is the link. I'm gonna put a like on that myself. Here's the link right here. Go ahead and save this link. Oh, my bad. Let me copy it. Copy link. Now, it should not be that long. That is crazy. I think disregard this right here in the chat. I'm very, very sorry. That link is not that big. Let me do this. Let me go into the I got Google Chrome, not Google Chrome, but what's the name of it? And reshare again. So look, here's Google Drive and all these books in here. Uh, oh, here we go. Yep, appreciate it, sis. Yep, either one. Yeah, either one. They're the same link. You know what I mean? Grab that Septuagint. Um, I came across a video earlier on today, and I'm just like, it's got to be AI. And I think I even removed it off of my watch history too because it was so much foolishness in there that they said that the Septuagint is the oldest known translation on the earth, and I'm just like, stop lying! Oh my God, these people! Oh my God, these people! So they hating on the right, right. That's right. Not true. It is not true. Like, okay, yeah, okay. I know. I felt the same way. I felt the same way, Auntie. You know what I mean? It's like we know good and well that the Ethiopian Bible is the oldest translation. Now, I've been looking and been looking and been looking. I've had some people at the sanctuary, ask me about, ordering the Ethiopian Bible from Amazon or Temu or whatever. I'm going to say I would not do it. And the reason why I say that is if you look at the reviews, go to each of these reviews, and I know that there's going to they got Ethiopian Bibles, they got a 180, 200 and some book apocrypha and all this and all that. Yeah, that sounds good. But the translations, right? If you look into the reviews, you're going to see people saying stuff like they got white Jesus all through there. And then like the translations, like it reads just like the regular KJV. And it's like, if it like you got to stop lying, man. Stop lying. Like those of us that remember Slick Rick from back in the 80s, stop lying. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like, stop playing. Like, you can't tell me that the Ethiopian Bible reads just like the KJV. It's crazy. Right. Yup. Goodness. Let me get a drink of water right quick. I mean, I pray us on out. We got a lot of good music to get it on in. We're going to get our Bantu breakdance on in just a couple moments. We're going to praise the Most High. We don't play no secular hip hop around here. We don't play no secular music whatsoever. We're going to pray music that glorifies the Most High. As a matter of fact, I got a couple tracks I got to add on in just because of some of the information that we went across just a couple moments ago. So I'm gonna make sure to add them in right quick. One of them is from Dimitri Pruitt. The other one is goodness gracious. I'm already thinking about some over here. Here we go. All right, so I got that one, and the other one is it'll come to me in just a couple moments. It'll come to me in just a couple moments. I know what I'm looking for, but it's like, oh my goodness. I got some music to play right quick. Let's go ahead and pray. All right. Abu Yahuwah, Most High Yah of Yasharal, Most High Yah of Abaraham, of Yatzak and Yaquab, the one true allure of all creation, creator of all the heavens, the earth, and everything within. Yahuwah to Saba. Abu Yahuwah, we continually come humbly before your throne, thanking you for your word that has gone forth, thanking you for showing us once again the good news in the Old Testament, all throughout your prophets, Abu Yahuwah, your redemption of us, Abu Yahuwah, your promises to us, Abu Yahuwah, that you would forgive us, Abu Yahuwah, that you would bring us back and we would be as though we had never left, that we would be to you as though we were never cast off, Abu Yahuwah. That is such good news. You know what I'm saying? So I would thank you so much. Tawuda Abu Yahuwah. Barukata Yahuwah Tasaba. I can't help it out, but thank you so much for every wise word spoken, every wise word understood. Thank you for your revelations of words that have came forth from these books, for anything that we have not understood in these scriptures, Abu Yahuwah. I continually ask that you would allow us to bring these scriptures before your throne, Abu Yahuwah. Reveal to us what it is we don't understand yet. Bring to us the wisdom. Bring to us the understanding of the things which we don't yet understand. For we seek to understand so that we can answer questions from those of our brothers and sisters that may be asleep. They may have seen some of these scriptures. No one's been able to answer these questions for them. So Abu, help us answer these questions. But we need you to answer the questions to us. And all these things, we continually pray, Abu Yahuwah, in your mighty, righteous, and holy name, the name of Yahuwah, to Saba we pray, by way of your son, Yahushai HaMashakah, known to so many others now as the Bar, Yeshaya, Yahuwah, the word of salvation from Yahuwah. So be it, and it is so. All right, family. So first track coming right on up for you. Let me see here. I'm over here doing this. First track coming right on up. I got that brand new Paisley the Hebrew. It ain't even brand new. I know it's new to me because I couldn't find it. And all of a sudden it came up in my feed today. It's called Be Yourself, featuring Paisley the Hebrew. This is a guy, I believe, Zamar, Yaron, and then Paisley the Hebrew. And, you know, I got some more songs. I got some Makello for you. I got another Paisley the Hebrew track. I got Hezekiah Judah gonna find his way back home. Got some Eshawn Burgundy for you, that Lemon Pepper freestyle. I got that Stranded by Anua Yahoo, a.k.a. Demetri Pruitt. And you know what? I know what the other one is. We're going to pull that one on up in just a couple moments as well. But first, let's get that Be Yourself. Yaron, Zamar Yaron featuring Paisley the Hebrew. Let's get it.
Yeah. I might not can be everything, but I'ma be me till I'm gone. I might not can be everything, but I'ma be me till I'm gone. Yeah, I might not can be everything, but I'ma be me till I'm gone. Till I'm gone. Yeah.
Kyrie made this one.
I might not can be everything, but I'ma be me till I'm gone. Yeah, I told myself I'ma live for right, even if right look wrong. I'll cut you off, I'll let your life cut me off of my own. I only want peace, not a piece of life. The main reason everything falls. I know to survive and not to live, and truth ain't always known. I know to survive and not to live, and truth ain't always known. I know to survive and not to live, and truth ain't always known. But I know to survive and not to live, and truth ain't always known. Yeah, truth ain't always known.
What's the difference in you and the man in the cage who made a decision in life, trying to survive while he living his life?
He robbing and stealing when he made a choice. The other was giving his life in the box, a written statistic. The other we witnessed with resources given. His mind on future, not worry about healing, cause he don't really need it. No. When you starving so long, it can make you look greedy, dawg. But the man who had it still grabbing, that's the one that's greedy, dawg. What's the difference in you and the man getting paid? Who made up his mind to go and get trained? He picked up a skill, used to be. Everybody got problems, we struggle within. Comparing yourself, make your confidence being. Drowning yourself in this puddle of men, don't know what to do. Stuck in this cycle like Will on a bike. Like if you listen while you on this high. At the top of the hill, then you realize it's supposed to be you. I might not can't be everything, but I'ma be me till I'm gone. Yeah, I told myself I'ma live for right, even if right look wrong. I cut you off, I let your life cut me off from my own. I only want peace, not a piece of life. The main reason everything falls. I know to survive and not to live. Truth ain't always no. I know to survive and not to live. Truth ain't always no. I know to survive and not to live. And truth ain't always no. But I know to survive and not to live. And truth ain't always known. Yeah, truth ain't always known.
Truth ain't always known. The heart of stone is like Medusa saw it. Current war zone, but a home, what we used to call it. A lion raging cause you killed his babies. Who could fault it? Reaper collecting debts of debaucherous life is costly. The family have to pay their respects at the viewings often. You need a break, won't let it break you, although you exhausted. Because the wound's still sensitive, you're real cautious. You don't just let no anybody in. I see a story in your eyes, I can tell you're trying to hide some. No matter the disguise, you yourself you can't hide from. Greatness inside your society wants you to hate yourself. Run wherever, but never can you escape yourself.
Be yourself. When you made you eat and make you to be nothing else. When you got the right values and add them to yourself. Life is like a journey, you're reminded every step. Remember who you are through every season, be yourself. If you ain't coming, bro, you gotta be yourself. Jealousy or other, bro, you gotta be yourself. Comparison can get you, don't forget to be yourself. Ain't it thought of making you to think of no one else.
To the Abba, you appreciate it in major ways. Only reason why that I still breathe today. Rejuvenate my inner man, my inner thoughts. To the flesh can't go either way. Opposite of thinking, that's a rude awake. Only fools embrace a fervent lake. Prophecy is seen within our current dates. Trying to stay pure in Satan's dwelling place. Please, Abba, penetrate. Eliminate any falsehood that I demonstrate. Anything outside, you gon' disintegrate. Obliterate the darkness with your brightness. There's nothing like your kindness. I'm praying that my image is in your likeness. Help me fight this temptation of these vipers, so I can stand with the righteous. If I'm led by the flesh, then that's the crisis. Free will was not a license to sin. See, we are pious to him, Abba Yahuwah. Help me not chase the wind, knowing that I am a descendant of Shem, but never boast in my skin. Only boast in the root that gives me strength. Fill my tent with your ruach in the midst of your people. Help me lift you up to them. Figures hard for them to resist, but reality, that's my misunderstanding. They don't want your commandments, and they rather see creation for the answers. And they lift off like ambers, carried away by the wind when they burn out. Similar to how their lives would turn out. I guess they caught the vapors. Rest in peace, Bismarck. Never side with our nations. I know obedience is my benchmark. Be careful what you're chasing. Abba knows our limitations. Only trust in Yahusha as we live through revelation. Many hearts are growing flagrant. Escalate the wicked behaviors. Disrespect for Yahuwah, Elohim of all creation. Shaking my head, yeah. Shaking my head because they mind gone. Only if they knew the timeline we own. Prophecy revealed. Like my Akam Shaddai says, if you walking by the flesh, then that's the walking dead. You better believe it. And this is a plague, which Yahuwah plagues all the people who fought against Jerusalem. The flesh shall decay while they stand on their feet, and their eyes shall decay in their sockets, and the tongue decay in their mouth. And it shall be in that day that great confusion from Yahuwah is amongst them, And every one of them shall seize his hand and of his neighbor, and his hands rise up against his neighbor's hand. And Yehuda shall fight at Jerusalem as well. And all the wealth of all the nations round about shall be gathered together, gold and silver and garments in great quantities. You better believe it. And it shall be that all who are left from those nations which came up against Jerusalem shall go up from year to year to bow themselves to the sovereign Yahuwah of hosts and to celebrate the festivals of Sukkot. Barak Yahuwah.
I got good news.
I got good news.
I got good news. I got good news.
I got good news.
I got good news.
I got good news. I got good news. I got good news. I got good news. I got good news. I got good news. I got good news.
Talk about my Abba every day. Used to think I knew it all, but kinda found out, man, I didn't. I was living on the wild side, shouted I was tripping. Had no role models growing up to show me life was different than what I was used to seeing. We just wanted bands. Being young and dumb in jail, you gon' land or even dead. Had a partner named Man that took one to the head. All for a quarter pin. Ain't no love in these streets. Only way I made it out, the Father handcuffed with me. I'm tired of seeing us lose our life way too early to the streets or to the system. Those statistics to disturb. I think about Job and how he never failed at all. Whatever Hashatan threw at him, he stood tall. We were never supposed to perish, we was only supposed to live. We supposed to be in paradise, not here paying bills. According to the scripture, we destroyed for lack of knowledge. Truest life is just repent to the Father, cause shout out,
I got good news. 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 I got good news.
Talk about my Abba every day.
I got good news. 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 I got good news.
Talk about my Abba every day. Hey, look, I truly pray who really need some help, they get it. We lost so many folks to choosing suicide or X. At the time, we too busy and never pay attention what the people battle with. Instead of guessing their height, we never called, just send a text. But what if they needed you to call for a second, just to hear some voice of reason, make them change their direction? Tell them drop the weapon. See, without Yahuwah, some people will get desperate. I'm here to hold your hand and tell you not to jump. When you worry, when you doubt, you give the devil what he wants. See, the tempter gonna tempt you, that's his job. Better guard your peace, cause he only come to rob. Man, I know the way to life, it get heavy, stay strong, shout it. You gotta choose to do what's right and quit the wrong, shout it. The wage of sin equals death, choose life. He got plans for you if you still alive, wipe your eyes.
I got good news. 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 I got good news.
Talk about my Abba every day.
I got good news. 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 I got good news.
Talk about my Abba every day.
I got good news. 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 I got good news.
Talk about my Abba every day.
I got good news. 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 I got good news.
Talk about my Abba every day. Talk about my Abba every day. Talk about my Abba every day.
Can you turn me up a little bit? Big city, rat racist. crazy, it's funny, modern day slave labors. Your own kind of quick to sell you out for higher wages. Creating gaps between our people, they feel higher placements. It's more like high enslavement, these nations in violation. They keep their foot up on your neck in fear of higher ranking. You feel the isolation, they plotting annihilation. For my people, it's pure evil, the hands of Satan. Yeah. Big city, mobile phones, cares of the world, gateway until you're hard and home. Afraid to disconnect from the matrix and that mind control your life. You can gamble hard to scramble when the dice is rolled. Yeah. Big city, run with the Joneses. Even though
I say Judah gon' find his way back home. Judah gon' find his way back. Judah gon' find his way back home. Judah gon' find his way back. Judah gon' find his way back home. Judah gon' find his way back home. Say Judah gon' find his way back. The mountain is waiting, the trumpet is ready. War on the rise and it's about to get messy. Out of the north, he gon' send them a message. Stir up the meats, the bowls, they catchy. Judah is you supposed to be in your section. Jerusalem, we won't forsake or neglect it. Blow you the trumpet, it's about to get hectic. He out, he almighty, the one not to mess with. Babylon falling, the seals is opening. Vows is opening, y'all we can feel it. Shepherds is right on that coast, he gon' gather the flock to they foe, he gon' gather his remnant. Chapter 10, Zechariah, just listen, he hissing. Judah is you who gon' frontline the mission. The praise of his name in the land, it was missing. Into his course was Judah with worship. Into his course with praise. Judah gon' find his course with worship. Into his course with praise. Into his course with worship. Into his course with praise. Into his course with worship. Into his course with praise. Judah gon' find his way back on. Judah gon' find his way back. Judah gon' find his way back on. Judah gon' find his way back. Judah gon' find his way back on. Judah gon' find his way back. Judah gon' find his way back on. Judah gon' find his way back. Judah gon' into his course with worship. Into his course with praise. Into his course with worship. Into his course with praise. Into his course with worship. Into his course with praise. Into his course with worship. Into his course with praise. Into his course with worship. Judah gon' find his way back home. Judah gon' find his way back home. Into his course with worship. Into his course with worship. Into his course with praise. Into his course with worship. Into his course with praise. Into his course with worship. Into his course with praise. Into his course with worship. Into his course with praise. Judah gon' find his way back on. His way back on. His way back on. His way back on. His way back on.
If one man could say the world, I wouldn't be the one, I'll be the one. Destroy every multiversion of me till I be the one, you be the one. Think it's that easy to say the world, I do the work. Unlike Jerry, I never curl. In a fetal position, my feet in position to stand on business. I mean my footsteps in the sand. When you think of this nigga, be thou holy, but not holier than thou. 2 fish, 5 loaves, what would feed 5,000 miles? Come with me, I'll head a key nation, run quick, see. What do we have here now? Do you wanna ride with y'all? Yeah. One man, many members, now this gang. Banging on the big bang. Christ reign without him, nothing made. Gotta have the mind of Christ to get ahead, that's my issue. Gotta treat your body like a gym. Ether, escape the people living dead like a zombie. Sex, drugs, body, a life ungodly. United we stand, divided we fall. In spite of me, saving my arm, I cut my hand off. We all are not the chest. Let me back. The mouth can never say to the ear, I don't need you. A prophet never stepped in his own home. Hold the phone, this son can say the word, you wouldn't know, cause you don't play the song.
An unaccepted prophet has to undermine the fallacy and keep the sun in mind by bringing balance to the galaxy. His duty as a sacrifice will forever sadden me. Imagine as we magnify the beauty of his majesty. America is a terror and catastrophe. They underrate my good and throw parades for the bad in me. Gotta be the light that illuminates the dark corners of the hood where wolves dress as sheep and bark on them. This ain't the jungle, this that zoo life where they encourage you to gangbang, slang drugs and shoot dice, aim guns. That two lives taken no matter who's right. One in the system and one is gone. You gotta move wide like a Mashiach and the 12 when they were big stepping, holding up the weight of the world like they were bench pressing, hip flexing, spiritual swords. I'm talking big weapons, walking with the fear of the Lord, killing and witch catching. We suffer not, want to live, let them all burn. You enslaved our people, war extend, now it's your turn. The prophecy that was spoken has come upon, learn to service the chosen, not temporary but long term. Will change the things and reign supreme. The bloodline of the Messiah is a dangerous creed. They hate us cause they can't contain our seed. We created and dominate everything. We were made to lead.
So we can confidently say that Yah is my helper. I will not fear. What can a man do to me? You keep trying to put me under your pressure, but I won't fall. First and foremost is chest, warring in the spirit, while they warring with me in the flesh. Y'all be getting flexed every political address. I'm blessed, my queen mean, I never dream about my ex. The physical connect when the spiritual is correct. Slicing open the text with my finger when I'm stressed. The test, follow the lesson of S, follow my blessing. Genesis created 1 in 3 heavens, go back and check. Angel about to blow the horn like a tenor sex. Time and prophecy gon' intersect, y'all gon' be upset. They done lied to me, I found the truth. What did you expect? Manipulated slave mind, by the time I put an end to that. Had me on the leash when I was blind, child, hold me back. Christ still the king, my faith is strong, I'm still defending that. Israel, stand up, you see the lashes on our back. Cut me off cause of my sin, but by his grace I'm reattached. I'm in the liberated state. How could so much love be translated through hate? The face of a nation, so that it would be erased if my table's prepared around my enemy. What's on my plate? Wait, it's the wake up show. Humanity is in insanity for the debt we owe. I'm in the fire with Messiah like a Abednego. Truth is buried in the hole like the Dead Sea Scrolls. Yo, I'm meditating on much more than legislation. There's no debating that Baphomet is the head of Satan. The church is filled with witchcraft and divination. A side hustle, but for others it's an occupation. Center for disease control and indoctrination. Likely to co-sign every government statement. If you don't know Yah, then you can't see the simulation. Plagues and fulfilled prophecy, we in the tribulation. That blood on me and in me, that flood coming against me, but love coming to get me. We going back with a 10-speed, bring my family with me. You will no longer pet me, Babylon gon' be empty.
Try to get you under my pressure. I've been trying to get you under my pressure. Say good.
Please, Father, destroy the yokes. Forgave my brother's debt, betrayed me about that color coat. I walk by faith in what it say, not about no horoscope. Amos 3:3, we agree or adios. I several times in my salvation being jeopardized. Hollywood smoking mirrors, these devils telling lies. I get angry, entertainment being weaponized. Is that a man, is that a woman you can't recognize? All these different doctrines, 1,000 new scholars a day. Philosophy, itching ears got them falling away. I bow my head and pray. Prophecies in full effect right outside my pupil. The children are the future, but their idols Freddy Krueger. Shaping in iniquity, we were taught taught this wickedness. Hide our similarities and maximize our differences. Murder for the fiat, turtle in the treetop. Take a life or change a life. She nervous in the pre-yacht. About to get the BBL, want the Birkins and Chanel. Turned they back cause he put down that second, got his CDLs. All of them with TVL. 556s, 5s ain't sent them 6 since he been in that cell. Line with mama, ask him how he doing, he tell her all is well. But it ain't though, don't want no visits, cause when they leave it hurt that he can't go. They in church for hours, ain't learning nothing cause the pastor blind. He want the tithe, the dollar done lost purchase power. Don't need glasses for the clearest vision, peer through the purest fiction. Slay the Chapt, state the facts, establish jurisdiction. I heard the Holy Spirit, not religion. I'm a soldier, number for the mission. Used to talk, now all he do is listen. Cause he old now, he once was young. Hospital bed, IVs in his arm. Linen sheets feeling weak, the doctors say a week. It ain't over till a higher speaks. Car looking like a hoarder cause she living out it with her child. Could've lost her mind, instead she found a way to smile. Guard my mouth, don't let me speak it if it's false at all. Grace is limited, repent, hey, this the altar call. The doors of the church is open. Said the doors of the church is open, but the building's smoking. Way to balance weather patterns be confusing them. You can have this wicked world, give me New Jerusalem. Give me New Jerusalem. I want New Jerusalem. Give me New Jerusalem. Yeah.
He said the doors of the church is open. The doors of the church is open, but the building's smoking. Oh, boy. Man, all praise to the Most High for the lyrics he be giving to Paisley, man. The lyrics he giving to all these brothers. Every last artist that we get a chance to listen to up on here, all praise to the Most High for the lyrics he gives to these artists, men and women, you know, and I think it's that's why I call them all modern day prophets for real, because they definitely get a word from the Most High, and they give it to us in a format that we're so used to. They're giving you scripture in a format that you're so used to, and it's like, you gotta heed the warnings, you know what I'm saying? It's like if the artist ain't giving scripture, I'm not really so keen to really want to listen. Say this has to play again. It's just that hard. All right, I can run it back. I'll run it back.
Please, Father, destroy the yokes. Forgave my brothers that betrayed me about that color code. I walk by faith in what it say, not about no horoscope. Amos 3:3, we agree or adios. I several times in my salvation being jeopardized. Hollywood smoking mirrors, these devils telling lies. I get angry, entertainment being weaponized. Is that a man, is that a woman you can't recognize? All these different doctrines, 1,000 new scholars a day. Philosophy, itching ears got them falling away. I bow my head and pray. Prophecies in full effect right outside my pupil. The children are the future, but their idols Freddy Krueger. Shaping in iniquity, we were taught this wickedness. Hide our similarities and maximize our differences. Murder for the fiat, turtle in the treetop. Take a life or change a life. She nervous in the pre-yacht, about to get the BBL. Want the Birkins and Chanel. Turned they back cause he put down that second. Got his CDLs, all of them with TVL. 556s, 5s ain't sent them 6 since he been in that cell. Line with mama, ask him how he doing, he tell her all is well. But it ain't though, don't want no visits, cause when they leave it hurt that he can't go. They in church for hours, ain't learning nothing cause the pastor blind. He want the tithe, the dollar done lost purchase power. Don't need glasses for the clearest vision, peer through the purest fiction. Slay the cap, state the facts, establish jurisdiction. I heard the Holy Spirit, not religion. I'm a soldier, number for the mission. Used to talk, now all he do is listen. Cause he old now, he once was young. Hospital bed, IVs in his arm. Linen sheets, feeling weak, the doctors say a week. It ain't over till a higher speaks. Car looking like a holder cause she living out it with her child. Could've lost her mind, instead she found a way to smile. Guard my mouth, don't let me speak it if it's false at all. Grace is limited, repent, hey, this the altar call. The doors of the church is open. Said the doors of the church is open, but the building's smoking. Way to balance weather patterns be confusing them. You can have this wicked world, give me New Jerusalem. Give me New Jerusalem. I want New Jerusalem. Give me New Jerusalem. Yeah.
Woo, man. Hey, I appreciate the fact that y'all love that so much that I ran it back twice for you. Hey, man. Family, we got work to do. All of us. I'm so much included in that. I'm not above that statement. We got so much work to do. We got so many people to get to. And I know we ain't gonna be able to get to everybody because everybody ain't meant to wake up. Scripture we've seen so many times over and over again, the remnant of this people. Yes. All of us. He said, but the building's smoking. Yikes, that's right. The doors of the church is open. The doors of the church is open. But the building's smoking. Yeah, family. Well, most high willing, we'll link back up on as a matter of fact, most high willing, let's try to link up Tuesday. And look for a notification out there, right? Because I'm gonna I think I definitely got some books that we can start messing with during the week, and or we might go ahead and just go ahead and do Malachi on Tuesday, and then just once again Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. You know what I'm saying, and just go through our books that way. You know what I'm saying? So let's pray on it. Like I said, keep a lookout for notifications, and I'll see what the Most High definitely saying, because I forgot I'd already taken care of my ACI certification, and so yeah, I'm done with that class. Now I can focus on getting back to lessons, and Bible studies throughout the week and things like that. Our schedules have kind of freed up a little bit, so we can kind of do some things. But yeah, Most High willing, let's get it in, family. All right. Shalom, Abarakah to you always, family abroad. And with that, we are out.